Hello, wonderful world of sewers. Welcome to the YouTube channel. This is my first foray into filming things, so that's exciting. I'm used to being on the stage, but there's never any evidence of that. So it's almost like it didn't happen once it's over, but this is going to go up forever. And I'm learning, so bear with me and excuse the rambling. So I thought I'd start with a what's in my sewing kit kind of video, because I know everyone has lots of questions about what do you use and what do you use, and there's so many accessories and kits out there that it's really hard to figure it out. And also to know which to try even. And again, I'm still learning. There's new things that everyone uses all of the time. And they come into the shop and they go, look, I found this thing. And I get all excited and I have to find out what it is and then test it. So let's start. I sort of have two sewing kits that work together. Many of you will know this pattern. This is my dilly bag. Sent to me, look, and this is, this one's me. This is the most beautiful fabric. Apparently that's me in bed. This was made by my mum, Judy Newman, who I'm sure lots of you know, and this is her dilly bag pattern, which you can get on our website and on her website as well. Yes, so I went off to London and thought, you know, sewing was just a thing I did at that point. But about 8-9 months in, I realized that I really missed it and wanted to start making a quilt. I had seen one of Kath Fassett's Big Bang quilts hanging up in Liberty and thought, I have to make that because that's amazing. And I'll start there. So what Mum did wonderfully was she made me this, and she sent it to me with a care package of a whole lot of fabric to get started on my Big Bang quilt with, because there is no fabric in London, lots of dressmaking, zero patchwork. So that was a challenge, but she sent me this wonderful bag and now I go everywhere with it. I've quite literally never gone anywhere without it. It comes with me on holiday, it comes with me to the shop, it comes with me to work. I have been found in my office sewing at lunchtime sometimes, because that's who I am. So this is my dilly bag. It's wonderful. And it's it's big enough to fit everything in, but not so big that it's a real challenge to kind of lug around. So, sewing bag number one. Now, what I have in there is, apart from all of my projects, there's a little bit of lots of them. I also have this little tin, which again was a present from my mother, because she found it. So this is by Ancine Creations, who goes around finding antique tins, and she kits them out. And look, on the inside there's this wonderful thing. I don't know how she does it, but she does it, and it's wonderful and beautiful, and it comes with a tape measure and scissors and little bits of cotton, and it's really, really cute. So every now and then we get some in the store as well, and I have this one with a cat on it because I am the crazy cat lady. But so many other people I know, so that's fine. So this little tin goes in my dilly bag, which is great. Now I have a number of things in this tin. I keep my tiny little embroidery scissors, which I think are adorable. I have no idea where I got them, but tiny little embroidery scissors are really good for just any small bits and pieces that you need to cut with fabric. They're fine for that, but mostly just the cotton. They don't get in the way. They won't ruin your good fabric scissors by using, you know, those ones for whatever. These are my whatever scissors, and they fit in my tin, which is great. Then I also have my trusty tape measure. It did have a lid that was also nicely designed like this, but I lost it. But I keep the tape measure because that's really handy for measuring, and especially when half of the things are in centimeters and half of the things are in inches, and you're going, I can't convert that in my head. But this does it for you, which is great. I also have my trusty embroidery redwork 9s, which I use for almost everything. Hand piecing and quilting and hand quilting. I love them. And I like the longer ones. Some people prefer shorter needles. I don't. It's totally a personal preference. Some people find that they like different size needles for piecing than they do for quilting as well. That's also fine. These redworks do come in a whole range of sizes. But I personally use the 9s just for everything. They're really great. They've got a slightly bigger eye than a lot of other needles, but not so big that it's too thick and sort of punctures the fabric in a really horrible way. And again, not too thick that you can't do hand quilting with, which is great, but they are big enough that they fit the DMC Pearl 8 thread through, which is good because that's predominantly what I use for all of my quilting as well. I'm sure they would fit the other brands like an Anchor Cotton as well, which is kind of the same width. So these are great, and I have lots in there. I also have a little packet of Sue Daily Milliner needles, size 9 as well. I use these for applique. They're really thin, they're very flexible. I know some people don't really like that much flexibility. Totally honest with you, these are the only Milliner's applique needles I've ever used, so I wouldn't know the difference. But I really like them. I didn't know about them before the shop, so that was a really great find, and I find that my applique is much better using these than it was when I did use the redworks for it. So, and again, these are much, much thinner, so probably more challenging to thread. You might need a needle threader if you struggle with that, but otherwise, great. Also, I have a trusty little unpicker thingy because we all make mistakes, even the pros. I did steal this from my sewing machine, so my sewing machine is now Sans unpicker, but I don't use the sewing machine a lot, so it doesn't matter. I also have a trusty set of Clover pins. These are the very fine patchwork pins. They have a glass needle head thingy, which is really great because you can iron it and it's fine, and it doesn't like heat up or melt or anything. They're very fine, they're very sharp. You will prick yourself with them. I prick myself with them, but I love them. I use them for applique as well. I know you can get really teeny tiny applique pins, which are probably great for small pieces, but as you can see behind me, my applique tends to be big. So I haven't found a need to have the little ones yet, but the more I do, I might get some, and I'll have to find out where to put them because my tin is very full. I also have my cotton steel sulky thread. This is a 50 weight in an ecru type color, which pretty much matches with everything. I switch my threads in and out in terms of color, but this cotton and steel sulky cotton is brilliant. It's really, really fine, but really strong. It's Egyptian cotton. It's coated in something. I can't remember what off the top of my head, but it doesn't break. And it's the most wonderful thing. And what's really great about this hand piecing cotton is that you can actually also put it on a machine. A lot of them you can't necessarily. And the spool is really pretty. It's blue and every color has its own color, which is fun. So that's what I keep in there. And at the moment, I've also got my Pearl 8 cotton in my little tin because I'm quilting that. I'm not finished yet. So like I said, my cottons switch in and out depending on the project that I'm working on. But that all fits in my tin. I also have just a couple of safety pins hovering around at the bottom for emergencies, because you never know when you'll need a safety pin or something else. And then, look, you can see, I will show you my lovely, wonderful, ooh, look, there we go. There it is, yay! And it all fits in, and then you put the lid on, and it's wonderful. And I'm very happy with my tin. Camera, there we go, yay. So that is my tin that goes in my dilly bag. Also in my dilly bag, I have a couple of other tools that I use all of the time for all of my projects. I have my, let me see, here we go, my Bowen pencil, which is fabulous. I use grey leads mostly because I work on fabrics that grey lead shows up on. But there you can get a whole range of colours. So if you're working on black fabric, you can get white leads so you can see it, which is great. It's chalk based, so it comes out with a bit of water. And I use this for all of my hand piecing and stencil drawing and all sorts. I have my Violet Craft seam roller, which I love. I didn't know these existed. It's like a portable iron. It will save your life, especially sewing on a plane. I didn't know you could sew on a plane until about 2 years ago, and it changed my life. I don't know how, they won't let you take water on a plane, but needles are fine. Figure that out. But I was thrilled. So this is really great because if you're flying to, I don't know, London or America, you are on that plane for ages. And sometimes you need an iron, you know, and they don't have irons on planes, but you do. And this one's really pretty and antique looking, which I really like. It was a gift, and you can get all sorts, you know, from Spotlight, but they're white and crass looking and ugly. So I like this one because it's pretty, and it really, really, really works. It's ironing on the go. Get one. I also have my very trusty Karen K. Buckley scissors. I like the blue size. They are small enough to fit in a dilly bag, and again, any sewing kit really. The handles are a really nice size. You can get ones that are ever so slightly smaller, but the hand bit is, it's a bit more tricky, kind of fit 2.5 fingers in, depending on how big your hands are. So I have the blue ones. I usually recommend the blue ones for people's sewing kit. They have a really fine serration on the inside of their scissors as well. That is brilliant for the fabric, and they are the best scissors you will ever use. Don't use them for anything other than your fabric though. That is the rules of the fabric scissors. Fabric only. They are a bit of an investment, but honestly, as long as you don't lose them, you'll never need to buy scissors again. So, you know, you won't notice over 5 years, which is great. Another thing I have that's really handy, I have my tiny little Creative Grids ruler. This is 1 inch by 6 inches, so it fits in my bag. And it means that I can do 1/4 inch seams whenever I need to. So yeah, if I'm using a template, most of what I do designing wise is just using template plastic. So I need the template to be the size of the sewing line, but then I need to cut with my 1/4 inch seam, and my seams vary if I eyeball it sometimes. So if I do need to be really, really precise, I will get out my trusty little ruler and make sure that my 1/4 inch is good. Equally, if I have to measure 1/2 inch or whatever, I know you can get just the 1/4 inch kind of liney ones, but I think A, I'd worry that would snap more easily, and B, I like the versatility of having the option of using the full inch, I guess, if I need to, rather than just having it only do one thing. I feel like this can do at least a couple more. Yes, and it's got all of the 1/8 measurements on it as well, which can be useful. So I have that in my bag. Let's see, what else do I have in my bag? I have USB, apparently, just in case, because you can always use a USB. Oh, look, this is fun. I have one of these do the thingies, which is kind of, so this one's a pretty one from Clover. It's got a serrate, it's like a tiny little rotary cutter blade thing in there, and then it's covered with something pretty. So you can snip your thread on it. So here's a piece of thread I have, and you go like that, and it cuts. It's amazing. So this is, and you can thread it through. It's got a little necklace hole. And this is for instead of scissors on a plane, which is cool. So I keep that in my bag because, as I mentioned, I really enjoy sewing on a plane. And then I have obviously all of my, oh goodness, it's on the floor. Bye. Templates for all of my projects. And like I said, I have usually 5 or 6 on the go. Oh look, that one's for the block of the month. Lots and lots and lots. Is my Love Liberty cushion diamond, which I'll need for my kits. And then I have my projects and lovely gorgeous fabrics like these. This is an octagon project that I'm working on that's not coming out for ages. This is in that quilt. And then I started putting my projects in bags because they were all getting mixed up and there were too many. This is another project that I will show you more details of in my What I'm Sewing This Month video, which I'm doing as well. Yeah. Oh, also in my little kit, I didn't show you, this is the Seju cotton that we have at the shop. That's lovely. It's a really old French brand from ages ago. I thought the date was there, but it's not. This cotton is amazing. It's for hand piecing only and applique, all those kind of things, but not for machines. It is so strong. It's got a wax seal on it. It's bloody brilliant. I'm allowed to swear on YouTube, right? Is bloody brilliant swearing? I don't know. It is now, or it isn't now. I can say it. It's fine. Cotton. It's wonderful. It doesn't knot. The wax seal makes it really easy to put through the needle as well. You don't have to lick it or, cut it because it's frayed or whatever. You just cut the bit and through the thing and you're off. It's great. So I use this for my hand piecing. It's really strong. Whereas I use my sulky cotton more for my applique because it's thinner. And that's just my preference. So, and sometimes you saw my design mat before. These are really great. It stops the fabric from moving around when you're doing a lot of tracing. And sometimes, I won't always have that in my kit because I don't want it to get too damaged. But sometimes if I know I'm going to be doing something specific, I'll pop it in before I leave the house. And that is my sewing kit. So look, like I said, there's so many different things that you can use and different projects are going to require different accessories. And I guess part of the beauty of this craft is that there are so many options that you can use and you get to have fun figuring out what works best for you. So this is kind of where I am with what works best for me. And I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you all next time. Bye!